Hey everybody, welcome back to Pixel Junkies. This is the Pixel Junkies podcast, episode 198. I'm one of your hosts, Rory. We got Aaron on the first mic.
Hey there.
We got Andrew on the second mic.
Whoa, hey, I'm here.
And we got Adam on the third mic.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Roy's on mic 4, I guess.
Yeah, I'm on mic 4.
We're doing something to try and sound more professional because we're really banking on an Arby's sponsorship. So don't mess this up.
Arby's,
Yep.
try their meat sandwich today.
Yeah, that's what they're known for.
We don't even have Arby's in Canada.
Not with that attitude, we don't.
We got to knock off Harvey's.
That doesn't mean we can't take their money.
Yeah, fair enough.
Good money. Enjoy
so the first
their
thing-
cordon bleu.
The first thing we want to talk about this week is Alita Battle Angel, the latest film from Robert Rodriguez. I've been looking forward to this movie for just about 150 years. You guys saw it on Friday. I saw it last night. What did we all think about it?
I liked
Yeah,
it.
I thought it was. Aaron, you go first because you just spoke.
Shit. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm not. It felt kind of anime-ish, and I'm not super into anime, but even still, I think it had nice aesthetic, nice charm to it. Enjoyable. Ultimately, an enjoyable film. It didn't feel like 2.5 hours, even though I think that's how long it was.
I think it's a 2-hour and 2-minute runtime.
Oh, okay. It had good pacing, had a lot of cool set pieces. Jordan described it as kind of like a 90s film for some reason. I think I kind of get what he's at after there, but it was kind of nice to just have that kind of adventure movie, kind of hero's journey type film where it introduces you to a lot of interesting concepts very early on and then slowly brings you through all of them. And, mostly interesting and pretty action-packed along the way. That was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
I also enjoyed it. It's nice to see so from what my understanding is this is actually a fairly accurate recreation of the first kind of major arc of the manga, and you can kind of tell that because a lot of the plot points go very, very quickly. You get the sense that they're literally just adapting this manga, kind of arc by arc. Or
I think they took the murder ball stuff from the second book, though.
I'm not sure. I do. It does make me want to read the manga, which I suppose is a good thing, because I had never really heard of this manga before I had heard, the movie kind of came out, and it makes me want to go ahead and read it. A few notes: the action is good. I thought they did a really good job with the CGI for Alita herself. Like she ends up coming across really, really cool.
Yeah, after the first 20 minutes or so, you kind of forget that she's got giant eyes. She just starts becoming a character instead of a weird looking thing.
Yeah.
What else did I notice? I noticed that one thing I didn't like is and I'm assuming that this is from the the source material, but at the same time, it probably sucked there as well. I fucking absolutely despised the romance subplot. I thought that was very lazy. Well, not lazy, but just lame, I suppose is a better term for it. I really didn't think that it came across very well.
It's because you wanted to be a man. You wanted to insert yourself. You wanted to take Alita home.
I didn't know what you possibly could have meant by that. You wanted to be a man. Like, what?
Definitely wanted to insert something.
No, I just thought that he wasn't that compelling a character, and I don't know if that was just because the actor, I didn't find him that believable.
Yeah,
or if his
so
character was
I looked into it a little bit after the movie, and I think in the book he's much more of a villain than in the movie. Like in the manga or the I guess
the
manga.
manga. Spoilers, I guess. Yeah.
He's I guess we're spoiling the hell out of it.
Well, just before you get into the spoilers, in case you want kind of a spoiler-free review, I would go see this in theaters. I think it's worth your dollar to go see, in theaters.
Alita dies.
Stay tuned for the sequel somehow.
That being said, I think you're only going to enjoy it if you're into really actiony movies and like are willing to kind of keep an open mind about how how this is this film is kind of presented and looked and how it's written, because it does come across as very anime, and I'm not sure if a lot of movie going audiences, like your average Joe and Candace, whatever Joe Blow average, I don't know if they're going to super enjoy it, if you get what I mean.
Yes.
Anyway, in the manga, Hugo straight up murders androids or cyborgs to take the parts. So the whole thing
Hugo
about
is
I don't kill people, please still love me. That's kind of just a movie thing.
Hugo is the name of the male romantic lead.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of him either. I don't think. I mean, I don't want to sound mean, but I don't think he was a great casting choice.
No, I don't know if another person would have made that a character more believable, though. If because I feel like that character's kind of, regardless of whoever was playing him. I mean, they could have got like somebody really charismatic to do it. And
Christoph Waltz.
I'm not sure if anybody could have made that character more acceptable.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could just be me. Maybe I'm a curmudgeon.
All the millennials are all pretty kind of annoying.
That being said, I thought that some of the side characters, like like Alita, was good. Obviously didn't like the male lead, but people like Christoph Waltz and some of the bounty hunters that are in the movie, I thought that they not only had really cool designs, but I thought that they were well done. And the movie's action is pretty good, and it's a really cool world. And I know that's kind of it's not just the movie. That's also the that's the manga that it's based off of, but at the same time, like, they did a good job of representing the world and how it's supposed to and makes me want to go out and read the manga, because it was very well presented. I'm like, hey, if this is cool in this movie, maybe I should check out the manga. So I think it did a good job of representing the setting and the source material.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. I think it's absolutely very true to the manga. And it certainly takes inspiration from a lot of anime as well. I think this is probably the most true to the manga as it could have possibly been. I'm pretty sure James Cameron and whoever else put this thing together. I think that was a huge focus for them, and it certainly came across in the movie. Certainly with really dumb things like Christoph Waltz's stupid hammer.
Yes.
His giant rocket-powered hammer.
Super unwieldy thing that he swings like 2 times in the movie. Yeah.
Like you were saying, the side characters are good. Jennifer Connelly is perfect, as always. What else? I like the fact that this is this movie has a really strong female character, and it's not totally up its ass.
Yes.
That's nice to see.
Although I will say it's kind of hampered by the romance subplot, where at a certain point, like, and it's not and I feel like it was better handled in the manga, because it would, like, their relationship would have had more time to develop. But I feel like how she handles the relationship kind of near the second third of the movie with Hugo, I think that was it comes across as being a bit weird, because it seems very rushed. She's throwing herself into it, where I don't think if you were reading like 20 chapters of a manga, I don't necessarily, that probably would have come across as a bit more nuanced. So I don't like that. But besides that, she's a very competent, cool, kick-ass character. She gets one of the most brutal finishing moves on a bad guy I've ever seen in my life. In fact, she gets 2, and they're really, really gross, but at the same time, they're really, really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool, like, gore stuff in this too. I wasn't expecting. Like, the action stuff, I knew going in that the action was probably going to be good, because this is the special effects movie that you go to see the top special effects and all the action stuff, and Robert Rodriguez is good at that stuff. But also
he's also excellent at gore.
Yeah, there's gore stuff in this that like when it happened, I was like, okay, I'm totally on board for this. This is cool.
It feels like they actually let him make the movie he wanted to make.
Yeah.
I love this movie. I love everything about this movie. Really like the world building. I think that builds on kind of what Adam was saying. Like, it's just sort of the perfect amount of exposure to the background of the world while also being able to actually tell a story in it. And in that regard, I think this movie is... I think it really embarrasses, like, The Hobbit, for instance, which is, like, has really, really poor world building.
I like The Hobbit.
And... All right. I mean...
You mean the movie, right? You mean the movie, right? Not the book?
Yeah, the movie. Yeah.
Okay,
The movies, more particularly,
Yeah, the
and
book
maybe
is
that's
dog
part of the
shit.
problem. And I also
like the book,
think
too.
this movie is also pretty. Like if you made Transformers, you must be pretty embarrassed by this, because this is a big action film movie.
Oh man, can we
movie that
please
isn't
give
awful.
Robert Rodriguez the Transformers franchise?
Yes, sign me up for that. Sign me up. Yeah, I couldn't say enough good things about this movie. I loved it. Anyone else? Aaron? Aaron didn't really talk about it too much.
Yeah, it kind of did. I mean, you're hitting on all the points there. I thought the romantic subplot was a little rushed or clumsy. Definitely the roughest edge of the film. Other than that, yeah, I like the world. It was
Yeah, the world is really good. Yeah, and shout out to Mahershala Ali, who's always good
Also
in
is.
everything.
Yeah.
Who
Who's the lead in this? I forget her name.
Rosa Salazar?
Yeah, I think she's gonna be big
Yeah, I
after this.
agree with that.
I think she's we're gonna see a lot of her.
Yeah, no, she's terrific actually. Yeah, and she hasn't done a whole lot of stuff before this, so that's
Yeah.
good. It's nice to see like someone new.
She looks like the
have a big
kind
role in a
of
big movie.
she's like the kind of side, like fucking
Side
what
boob?
movie am I thinking of? No, I can't remember it now. God damn it, it'll come to me. Move on.
So last week we talked about Overkill's The Walking Dead. And
Oh, Rush
how,
Hour. That's what it is.
It's
You know Rush Hour 2, that short haircut misses, and Chris Tucker's like constantly trying to get in her pants, and she's like, "Nah, fuck you. I wanna
No,
speak to
you're
your
the only
manager."
person on planet
Oh.
Earth that remembers anything about that movie.
Oh, okay. Well, that's who she kind of reminds me of in like how her actual face looks.
Oh,
So I think that's the kind of role she's been in, is like the kind of probably a lesbian cop type role.
oh,
So she'll probably.
that's a bit presumptive.
I know, but well, I mean, it is typecast. But I think she'll get into bigger stuff after this now.
Now apologize to Rory for rudely interrupting him.
You were talking
He's
about
the MC of this podcast, and you interrupted him.
So last week we talked about how Andrew wanted.
I'm
to bring
sorry,
up how
Rory.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. How Andrew told us last week that Overkill's The Walking Dead wasn't canceled at all, and now this week he's going to tell us that it is.
Spoilers, it is. They canceled it.
Hooray. Wait,
So
like,
there
actually?
were. It came out on PC. It was horribly reviewed. Then they pushed back the date for the console release. Then they said it was canceled. And then they said, "Oh wait, no, it's not canceled. It's still coming out. Don't worry." And then, like less than a week later, they were like, "Yeah, it's canceled."
So
All
so
right.
it's
So
canceled?
this is kind of wild. It's amazing to not know the fate of your game that much. Like that's
I mean, maybe they
How does
said
this
it
happen?
to like
Star
try to
Wars.
generate some interest about it, and
good
then
point.
they realized nobody gave a fuck if they were going to cancel it, so they're going to fuck it.
all right. Well, speaking of Sweden, the Avalanche, the founder of Avalanche, is leaving.
I saw you do that.
The,
Do you ever look at like a car crash, like a car doing something horrible, and be like, I can see the car crash happening.
For the audience that doesn't know what happened, we have a list that we're reading from, and Rory just moved things around on the list so his segue would make sense.
I was gonna say before we started that we're trying out this hosting idea that Rory, you should, or whoever is hosting, should have a look at the list so they can set up their segues. Anyway,
no, man, I make the segues fit me.
segues on the
so-
fly.
So Avalanche, the founder of Avalanche, which is the Swedish game developer, and I mean a really good Swedish game developer, to be honest.
I'm one of those lame
Yeah, they
ones.
made the Hunter Primal.
They made Mad Max. They make the Just Cause games. They're really good. You know, they're very skilled at what they do. Well, the
They're
founder is
making.
leaving.
They're making Rage 2.
They're working on Rage 2. Yeah, I don't know if they were exclusively listed, but they're definitely one of the teams on it.
Let's play Mad Max.
I think it's them and id Software are working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the founder's leaving, and one of the things he mentioned is that he's not so fond of the constant gold digging mentality of the industry. That's an actual quote. And I thought that was interesting. And
Well, rather than
well,
helping fix it, he fucked off.
This is
Now
a good
it's time
sign
to-
for Rage 2.
oh yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Todd, for that one.
Yeah.
So this dude's been around a long time, and you know, there's not a lot of most of the people who are famous in the video game industry are, you know, they're famous developers, but they're not usually famous like development people, if you know what I mean, like famous programmers and stuff like that. There's a lot of unsung heroes of the industry, and this guy's one of them. Like he's been around a real long time, so you know, it's kind of sad to see him go, and I wonder. I don't know what kind of impact this will have on Avalanche, but I bet someone who wants to put in microtransactions is real happy that he's gone.
I'm betting you're correct, Rory. Hopefully this guy goes off and starts a new studio that doesn't do the
Stop
bullshit
playing.
that he's not so fond of.
For
Yeah,
one
yeah,
game
exactly.
until they're sold to EA or Activision, and then we're back to where we were.
Well,
And
there's
then
a
we're back to
size
square one.
threshold, right? Once you get so big that you have to support a large company, a large studio, then you get bought out by some larger producer like Ubisoft or EA, and they ruin your studio.
Oh, Frontier managing it. Fingers crossed for that. I can knock out what?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, Aaron, because Frontier is working on a massive Elite update for 2020. That's supposed to be a defining moment in the history of the game.
Oh, wow, Roy, that's crazy you knew that. That is correct. They announced today on the forums. It was because
just
late
gonna-
last.
I'm just gonna take this Arby's hat that I bought and I'm just gonna throw that.
Just
in there.
because they mentioned late last year when they were finishing up their Beyond series of updates that there would be a little while before we hear about the content coming out post Beyond. And a lot of people were kind of just assuming, I guess, it would be late this year or maybe at E3 this year or something like that. But nope, they came out today and said that it will be late 2020 before we see this new content. And they haven't said, yeah, it's a long fucking wait between updates. Major updates, anyway. They mentioned that, like Roy said, it'll be a defining moment in the history of the game and will be what most consider to be like the definitive update for Elite. So that more or less boils it down to two possible things. Number one would be atmospheric landings and all the content that comes with that. You know, different types of planets, like potentially submarine type ships, flora, fauna, all that kind of thing. Or what I guess a lot of people would like is space legs, what I call essentially the ability to walk around, get up from your ship, walk around your ship, stations, walk around, all that kind of stuff. So I would assume it'll be one of those two.
What if the update just monetizes the fuck out of it? Like turbo transactions.
Very, very
You
much
can no
doubt that
longer
will
you
happen.
can no longer kill yourself to respawn, and
Stop giving him ideas.
and
Shut up.
you have to refuel by spending money, real money. There you go. Perfect game.
You're giving him a free one.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could tell Frontier that, and they wouldn't do it anyway. They do
Unlikely story.
They do seem to have a pretty good sense of humor about that sort of thing, and they're generally pretty open. I really appreciate their openness with the community. I think if you were to come out with a lot of other games at this point and say, Yeah, it's going to be another year and a half before you see anything. Well, not really, but if the next time you see the next major update, it's going to be more than a year and a half. I feel like that's almost suicide in some instances. Like if Fortnite said, "All right, another year and a half before the next update," then it's like, "Yep, no one's playing Fortnite again." But I think because the Elite community is so closely knit that it doesn't necessarily make a massive difference. And they also said that there will be other smaller content updates in the meantime. They're planning on changing how events work in the game, so they just feel a bit more dynamic. They'll probably be adding more missions and maybe a couple more ships, different sorts of things. Just smaller content updates in the months leading up to whatever the hell this expansion is. But I'm very much looking forward to whatever it is either way. So I'm excited.
Well, speaking about DLC, we have a DLC update from everyone's favorite studio or game or maybe person. Andrew, what in the shit is this topic?
I'm so glad you hosted this. So, remember a while ago there was a big controversy about Assassin's Creed?
A big what now?
Yep, I do.
Controversy.
The DLC came out and it made you have a baby, even though
Yeah.
you could have been gay. So now they updated it. You still have a
Man.
baby.
But
Some
Fucking finish a thought, Jesus Christ.
I'm furiously masturbating over here. Hold on.
gun is useless.
So they changed some dialogue around. Basically they added a heart icon to one of the dialogue choices. So at one point you can choose to stay on a boat with your friend or leave, and they added a heart to the stay option because that would initiate the romance. So just so if you're gay, you know that staying will initiate the romance. That wasn't there before.
Yeah. I
And
understand.
at the end, when you do have a baby, because you always have a baby, they changed the two options at the end are I choose this life because I love you, or I choose this life to have a family. Those were the
I understand.
options.
Yeah.
Before this patch.
That makes sense.
Post patch is I choose this life because I love you, or I choose this life to secure the bloodline.
Uh-huh.
So they changed. Really, they changed one line of dialogue.
I feel like what they could have done is say, instead of like, I choose this life, they could have been like, hey, I'm going to do this once just to secure the bloodline, and then never again.
Yeah, well,
Rory?
see what happened there was Ubisoft said, "Oh shit, we already have Assassin's Creed Legion pretty far into development. So, considering you play as whoever you play, Alexios or Cassandra's kid in that game, they need to exist." So
What's Assassin's Creed Legion?
there was this isn't on the list, but I guess this is related to Assassin's Creed. There was a leak potentially for the next Assassin's Creed game. I think it was earlier this week.
Yeah.
That the next game will be called Assassin's Creed Legion and will take place in Rome after the events of Odyssey.
Oh, during that would actually be really cool because Odyssey takes place just after it's when Mark Antony has fled from Rome and Augustus Caesar is chasing him, right? That's when that Odyssey takes place?
No, Odyssey is ancient Greece.
Or sorry, not. Hang on, did you say Odyssey or
He said
Odyssey.
Odyssey.
Oh, my apologies. I thought you said
Odyssey has to do with or Origins has to do with Caesar.
Yeah. So, hang on. It takes place in. So I wonder if that's going to be about the Punic Wars then between Carthage and Rome. That would
So
be
it'd
cool.
presumably be around 400 to 350 BC ish, I would imagine.
So there are two options here. This is very profound. It could take place either before Origins, or
I know where this is going. It is great. I love it.
or it could take place after Assassin's Creed Origins.
Good.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you play as whoever you play as in Odyssey's kid though, so it has to be after Odyssey. Anyway.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
there you go. So they changed the cutscene. Tangy.
Last week, we discussed about Reggie leaving Nintendo after all
man.
these years. But you know what's not leaving Nintendo? The Pokemon. They've decided to re-sign their contract, and
Bad idea there.
they're gonna be making some new games, some new Pokemon games. And amongst those is Sword Shield.
It was Pokemon
Adam?
Sword and Pokemon Shield, because they always release 2 games to double down on customers.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and there are not so all of the there's always, this is how it usually goes for Pokemon generations. Like, let's take the first Pokemon generation. There's Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue. Each of those versions will have mostly the same Pokemon list, but a few differences between them. So, like, in one game, as an example, I can't remember off the top of my head which one were version exclusive, but, like, in one game, you might not be able to get Gengar. Like, in Pokemon Blue, you can't get Gengar, but you can get Alakazam. And in Pokemon Red, it's the opposite. And then another one might be, you might not be able to get Snorlax, but you can get Gyarados.
But you can
Just
trade
as an
between
example.
them.
And you can trade between them. So, again, it's a way of like, oh, you have to make sure your friends have this game as well and get the other one so you can get all the Pokemon. I've
you
been a
can
big
just
fan
not
of
give a
Pokemon
fuck.
for you, or you can just not give a fuck. I've been a big fan of Pokemon pretty much since it came out, and I've, always enjoyed the series, except for the last games, because they sucked.
What was
So I'm
that one?
genuinely
Pokemon
excited.
Eevee and Pokemon Pikachu or something?
No, not Pokemon Go Pikachu and Pokemon Go Eevee. I'm talking about Pokemon Sun and Moon, and then Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I
So
didn't
is
like those at all.
Eevee and Pikachu like not real games?
It's
They're
kind
like-
of like a
They're not
kid-friendly-
mainline Pokemon RPGs. They're like
Oh,
they're a
okay.
different
I
thing.
thought they were.
It's a combination of Pokemon Go and and Pokemon Red and Blue, like the first
Oh.
games, because somebody looked at Pokemon Red and Blue and said, "You know what? This is a bit too hard for children. Let's make it easier." And I'm like, "Are you sure? Are you sure it's too easy?" That seems like a very it seems like a very easy game to me.
I
Like,
thought
you'd
it
have
was
to be
just
some sort of moron.
I thought it was just like something that the Pokemon people were going on about nowadays because they didn't want to show like animal abuse or something in their game, so they went the Go method of just like throwing Pokeballs at them instead of fighting them.
Wait, are we talking about Pokemon Inox Sun and Moon? About the ancient Egyptian queen of the 18th dynasty?
Jesus Christ.
Who?
That is the lamest fucking joke. Nobody's gonna get that, Andrew. Nobody gets that. It's a reference to the Brendan Fraser Mummy movie.
Well, I am.
How did you manage that? You should be fucking ashamed.
Anyway,
What the fuck were you thinking?
Rory, save us.
So anyway, the new Pokemon games are Pokemon. Fuck off! I'm still talking about Pokemon. It's Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Nope, it's Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield. It's supposed to take place in. I don't know if they've announced the region yet, but it's supposed to be a
Probably
region
Japan.
apparently based off of Great Britain. So like all of the Pokemon, for a while now, a lot of the Pokemon regions have been based off different geographical locations. Like Kalos was based off of France, Paris specifically, and Alolan. The Alolan Islands are based off Hawaii. This one's based off Great Britain. There's not much information known about these games yet, except I believe they're Switch exclusive. At least the 3DS version hasn't been announced.
They are Switch exclusive, yeah.
Yeah, so no 3DS, so it looks like I'm going to be getting a Switch. And they've only announced the
Good job, Reggie. That was
three
his last
starter
version.
Pokemon.
Make sure they're only on Switch so
and
Adam has to buy one.
The three kind of starters, the first evolution of the starters, and I'm trying to get their names up right now.
Were
and
those the ones they showed in
Brookie,
the
Scorbunny, and Sobel.
Yes, thank you.
Were
Roy.
those the ones they showed in the trailer?
Yes.
Oh
So,
man, that's really uninspired.
They are following the trends with two of the Pokemon that they've started. So all the fire Pokemon starters are based off the Chinese Zodiac. And all of the water Pokemon are usually amphibious or not purely aquatic. So there's never been any fish Pokemon for the water starter. It's always been stuff like seals or otters or bears or turtles, stuff that's like can live in and out of water. So for the fire Pokemon we have a rabbit, and for the water Pokemon we have some sort of looks like a salamander, and then the other Pokemon, the grass is some sort of it's a chimp Pokemon called Grookey. The rabbit is called Scorbunny, and the water is called Sobly. All three of the names are lame. I will admit, but I do like the design of Scorbunny and Sobly.
Me too.
Like, I gotta be
Yeah,
honest. Like
me too.
I will not buy a Pokemon game if I think the starters are shit, or I will really hate a Pokemon game if the starters are shit. That's why I didn't like Pokemon Black and White, because the starters weren't very good in my opinion. So I'm gonna wait to see. I'm gonna like kind of rein in my hype until I get a good look at all three. The
Don't they all
full
look the same
evolutions
though?
of
They're
all
just
three
different
Pokemon.
colors.
What do you mean?
The three Pokemon that start whatever the starters, they all look the same, as they're just different colors.
No, they're not. They're not the same at all.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what ones they showed in the trailer then. They just looked like a circle on top of a circle with ears, and then there was a green, a blue, and an orange one.
Oh, that's a drawing.
No, they weren't drawings, where they were CG in the trailer. In some video that I saw on the Pokemon Direct, because I skipped through it. I started watching that, and there's like 18 minutes of some Japanese buddy taking fucking forever to say one sentence. So I just skipped through it until I actually got to the game. Anyway.
I mean, I'm
but
excited for it just because I'm looking forward to a new Pokemon game, but I'm
well,
holding my breath because
Why
Pokemon
didn't you
haven't
get
really done
Goeevee
anything
and
new.
Gochu or whatever it was?
Cause it's not the same. It's not the same game. It's just Pokemon Go, which is a game I fucking hate.
It's exactly the same.
Mixed with no, it's not. It's completely different mechanics, and they're awful.
Yeah, exactly. It's completely different.
Adam, you may be looking forward to a new Pokemon game, but I'm looking forward to an old Pokemon movie.
What?
The very first Pokemon movie is getting a CG remake.
Yes, for some dumb reason.
Looks great.
Does it?
Yeah, does it?
Yeah?
The CGI kind of looks like the rejects of Reboot.
It looks
I like it.
Okay. They look like they're made out of plastic or something.
You know, like Reboot.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a blender. You get the blender like 3.5 beta going on here. That's what.
Blender's never
Oh,
going out of
no.
style, I'm telling you.
I'm just looking at it now.
I'm guessing that Pokemon is the Pokemon company's trying to do with Disney, where they're gonna like remaster all the old movies and products and stuff. Because a little while ago they came out with Pokemon Generations, which were like the major moments from the shows and the games reanimated in the new, better animation style with not Ash fucking Ketchum, which was
Who's Ketchum? Oh, you don't mean he was fucking Ketchum. He was okay.
That looked good. And then they came out before that with Pokemon. Was it Legacy? Pokemon Origins? I think it was Pokemon Origins, which was an animated, a 4-part animated series that retold the plot of Pokemon Green and Pokemon Red. So it looks, I think they were going full Disney on let's milk our old properties and nostalgia for our old properties as hard as we can. I think it's kind of unnecessary, especially, but I don't know. The Pokemon, I think people forget that the first Pokemon movie isn't good. It's fucking awful. It's really cringy.
Wow, Pokemon
Really
tears can heal humans.
Kids
Yeah.
were crying in the theater when I saw
I
it.
cried in the theater.
This is a medical breakthrough now.
Because I was
acknowledged in the
fucking
rest of the
6,
Pokemon universe.
and my favorite character in all of TV just got fucking murdered. And then, man, I remember
Brock
even thinking
died?
no, not Brock. He was only the second favorite. He can turn his frying pan into a drying pan.
What's Brock's eye color?
We actually have seen his eyes.
You're racist.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I'm not
so
looking
the
forward to this.
Pretty cold reaction to the new Pokemon.
Yeah, it looks dumb.
apparently looks dumb. But you know what doesn't look dumb? Let me
What?
tell you something. Since they opened their first restaurant in Boardman, Ohio in 1964, Arby's has been serving quality meats and handcrafted sandwiches. And it's no exception with the Montreal smoked meat Reuben and the new Montreal smoked meat poutine. Try it today with some Oreo bites and an Andy's mini Arby's shake.
Who the fuck is Andy?
I have no idea. It's trademarked,
Oh my
though.
God.
Anyways,
We're not endorsed by Arby's.
I wish we were now.
in,
That was some,
in
that was
other
some
news,
like scummy YouTube level ad read shit.
Oh, you mean all of YouTube?
Oh my god!
Alright, I just got a mountain thrown at me.
So,
Don't worry
kind of
about it.
actually doing a good segue here. Speaking of a Pokemon movie, there is
Hey,
another
you're
Pokemon
not the
movie.
MC.
Yeah, you're not allowed
You
to talk
shut your
shit
whore
about
mouth.
No, I know what segue he was doing. Adam was just about to tell us about how Rockstar is implementing some controversy in their economy in Red Dead Online.
Oh.
So I've never, I don't own Red Dead Redemption.
Well, that's a good game.
Okay. Even so, but I can imagine that if I owned Red Dead Redemption, I enjoyed playing the online. I would not enjoy this. Why wouldn't I enjoy this? Like
Go ahead, Aaron.
it wasn't a rhetorical question. It was a
Oh,
yeah.
I thought I was contemplating life. Well, yeah. So I mean, it kind of goes way back. I'm sure we talked about it on previous podcasts. Essentially, when the beta came out, the economy was not ideal. Essentially, it was worlds apart from how it worked in single player in terms of like hunting animals and selling their pelts, and essentially just making money was less lucrative in general than compared to single player. So I think there was a kind of a petition to make the game a little bit more equal with how the economy works. Everything was paying way less and everything cost way more, so it seemed to be, and totally was, pushing their microtransactions, their gold bars. And there was a big backlash. It stormed the internet for a while, people complaining about the economy in the game. So Rockstar was like, all right, we'll rebalance the economy. And they somewhat listened a little bit. Shit got cheaper, although some things were nerfed as well. But it generally, in part, was an improvement. And so they came out with this update. They were saying they're adding the new, we were talking about it before, the new bounty system, the new proximity thing, all that stuff. And essentially, there's a whole bunch of other shit they didn't mention either, which is now everything that used to pay decent and was the main like method of making money in online is now completely useless. And that they're massively pushing their microtransactions to buy things like emotes, because you got to do dancing in the Old West. And for some, I don't know, they completely have readjusted the economy to subsidize microtransactions. So it's a massive step backwards, in my opinion.
Good job, Rockstar.
Yeah.
You never fail to
Shit.
surprise.
I mean, I really wonder how much of it is Rockstar's doing and how much of it is Take-Two's doing.
Oh, it's absolutely Take-Two.
Yeah. But it's really dumb to have something that's still technically in beta and then really not release a massive amount of content. Most of the content they actually added, by the way, the new weapons and clothes and stuff they said that are coming out are just marked as coming soon in the game. They've essentially taken the game, added some things with coming soon banners on them, and butt-fucked the economy to make it impossible to make money.
Yeah. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a single-player game.
Yeah. It's definitely still worth it for the single player. The online is... I don't if it stays the way it is, I don't see a point in returning to it. I might go back in and play through the story missions just for the hell of it, but in terms of actually like spending any amount of time in there, it doesn't really seem like a viable economy if you don't want to spend real money. But I got a segue here, Roy. I forgot to put it on the list. I kept thinking about it, but this is also Rockstar related.
Far away.
Don't you fucking dare.
Probably, I'm gonna say it, the greatest glitch in all time has finally been air quotes patched. Because Rockstar have finally figured out a way how to patch this glitch. A couple of weeks ago, people found a loophole in the way, I guess, earning money in GTA Online works, and have found a way to earn money AFK solo without really doing anything. And I guess I can tell you how it works now because it's been patched, so it's not really like a, here's how you can do it yourself, kids. It was essentially you could call Lester and request a plane. Like he had those abilities to like locate a plane and locate a boat and that sort of thing. Well, you could use that against the game. You could say locate a plane, and if you drove out of your garage at the exact same time of locating a plane, then you would basically trigger this glitch where you could just drive to the airport and you would. I guess the way it worked in the game was that because there was a plane nearby you at the airport, it would refund you the $1,000 that you spent on locating the plane, except it did it in a loop every 2 seconds. So you would be refunded $1,000 every 2 seconds indefinitely just for being at the airport. And so
how much money do you have in GTA Online right now?
I tried out the glitch myself because I really don't give a shit at this point if I get banned because I've already done everything that I kind of want in the game and we don't really play it as much anymore. In the couple of days that I just left my PlayStation on, I earned 124 million.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
This explains why I've noticed that Aaron has been online playing GTA 5 for like a while, and I was getting kind of worried. I was like,
I just play it every day, all day. I was doing the night.
We find Aaron in his house, and his dog, like a dog, is eating his foot because he's died on the couch. His character's just running around in circles because his thumb's jammed on the thumbstick.
It'd be funnier if he was still alive and the dog was eating his foot. He's just so. He just doesn't care. He's so engrossed.
Get away from there. Oh, shoo.
Yeah, I was doing the nightclub stuff for a while, farming money that way. But I saw the glitch. I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I'll just do this. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, I bought everything in GTA now, so I'm good.
Now let me tell you guys.
Oh, and let me tell you how they patched it as well. They originally patched it by moving the barrier on where the planes spawn, but people quickly found a workaround to just move a little bit further away. And so the second time they patched it is they have just now removed the cost of locating a plane. So it's now free. If you want to go locate a plane from Leicester, it doesn't cost anything. So 10
You know what else doesn't cost anything? Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remaster. Oh, no, never mind. That's not the topic. Wrong topic. Wrong topic. This isn't on the topic list. Abandoned. Okay. So, I don't know if you guys know this about EVO, but before EVO starts, like EVO takes place in August, right? And there's, they pick games that are going to be at EVO, right? They decide what games are going to be like on the EVO main stage that they're going to stream and are going to have a grand finals and all that. And so they just announced the games this year for EVO. And so you guys might not know this about Smash, but when Smash 4 was out, the Smash community was divided. There were the people that were playing Smash 4 and the people that were still playing Melee. Like, they didn't want to move on because Smash 4 was, like, too different. And
Man, screw those people.
Fair enough, actually, because that's what we're getting to. And now Smash Ultimate came out. Same thing, Melee players still playing Melee, but this year, for the first time in a while, Melee will not be at EVO as one of the main games. And this is interesting because Nintendo has a funny relationship with EVO because when Melee first came to EVO back in like 2013 or something, Nintendo tried to get them not to do it. They tried to like pull it from EVO because they didn't want the free publicity. But eventually they agreed to it, and now they sort of have a better relationship with EVO. But I'm guessing that a big part of the reason that Ultimate is here and Melee is not is probably just like Nintendo wants people to move on because if people are still playing Melee, they're not selling.
Reggie's gone for 2 seconds.
Yeah, really, yeah. And so I think this is probably partly a push to get people to buy Ultimate and get the old guard of Smash players into the new Smash game. And sort of also, I did point this out in the topic list, but it's Melee is played on CRT TVs, and now Evo doesn't have to get CRT TVs. So whoever was renting all those CRT TVs just
Where
out
do
a
you
bunch of
rent
money this year.
CRTs?
A good question, but someone did it, right? Like that's how they got them
China.
all. So like,
How is that a sustainable business? I mean, outside
Yeah,
of
good question.
outside
No,
of the month
you're right.
that
Why not
Evo
just
it's
occurs.
like
sell
the month,
them.
the Evo month. Yeah, exactly.
How much is a CRT? Like $20 now? Like just fucking buy one.
I don't know. I don't even know where you can get that many CRTs. Like honestly, I have no idea.
They're harder to come across now. Like
Yeah.
I mean, they break and then they're not being made, so you can't buy any new ones.
Yeah, exactly.
So
There is like something to be said for the Evo this year though. Just like a couple sort of more minor things. Like it has all the games that you would expect to be at an Evo, Tekken 7 and Street Fighter 5, and Dragon Ball and Mortal Kombat.
What about Farming Simulator?
No Farming Simulator yet. We're pushing for it for next year though. And this year is actually this year is seeing attention given to the really underrated fighting game Unist, which like had no shot at being at Evo, I thought, and everyone else presumably thought too, and has never been at Evo, but they're finally getting attention to it, and I think it's good that they're using Evo to showcase lesser-known games. Like that's cool of them.
what is it? Munich?
Unist, UNIST.
Unit.
It's short for something, but you don't want to know what it's short for. The
What's it short for?
UNIST?
yeah, UNIST, yeah. The and
Oh, I see. The Olson National Institute of Science and Technology. Gotcha.
yeah, that's right.
That's
The
iced tea they have at the UN.
and also related to fighting game news, this is interesting. Jim Sterling actually made a video about this. Dead or Alive 6 came out. Now, that wasn't what the video was about. The video is about the big money season pass that Dead or Alive 6 was released with. Now, I don't actually have
much
the
money
exact
is it?
figure. I believe it's about $90.
What? For a season pass?
Not just for a season pass, Adam. Well, yes, just for a season pass. But I feel like you're underselling the ridiculousness
yes,
of
it
it when
is,
you say
it is.
for a season pass. So here's what comes with it: the Happy Wedding Costumes Volume 1, the Happy
Okay.
Oh,
Wedding
well, sign
Costumes
me up.
Volume 2,
Say no
the
more.
Costume Pack Volume 1, the Costume Pack Volume 2, Mai the character, Mai's costumes, a new unspecified character, and a new unspecified character's costumes. That's the season
And?
pass. That's
And?
it. That's the whole thing.
That's it?
That's
There's no
it.
more? For $90.
$93, Adam.
Oh, sorry.
So
I
more
apologize.
than
$93.
notably
So
more than the
there-
game costs.
So clearly, Dead or Alive must be the greatest video game ever made because they said Dead or Alive came out and they said in order to get some of the peripheries for our game, those are worth at least more than God of War 4 and more than Red Dead Redemption. Are the peripheries for these games? All these costumes, all these extra characters are worth more than Red Dead Redemption 2 in terms of price. That's how good they are. So
Yeah, pretty
this
much.
must be the greatest game ever.
Well, the part of it is the way
God damn it.
that these companies, fighting game companies, often sell their stuff. So if you look at, so there's $1,000 worth of Dead or Alive 5 DLC for the previous game.
That seems like
But-
an excessive amount.
Oh, it's absolutely excessive. It's absurd, and the people who make this game should be ashamed of that. But it's worth noting that this was a good point. Actually, Jim brought this up, and I was kind of surprised he brought this up. Was that games that allow these are basically microtransactions. It's just they sell them as DLC. Right? It's a terminology thing more than anything. So you could sit down and, you're playing, I don't know, what, Dota or whatever, and you're buying skins. And it's kind of the same thing. It's just the Dead or Alive team has made the horrible PR move of putting all the things you could possibly buy on the page.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like
that's-
buying bulk microtransactions.
Yeah, it's a
That's what
terrible
this DLC
economic
is.
decision.
Yeah.
Because we've
And,
kind of had this discussion before, whereas like,
Mm.
when does a cosmetic cross the line of being a microtransaction and so on? And this is literally both of them.
Yeah, I don't
So-
think. Yeah, and I think this goes to the point that this, to me, they're calling it DLC. To me, this isn't DLC. These are microtransactions.
Yeah.
Because they're just.
The
This is
character,
not-
the new character is DLC.
Yes. Oh, I agree 100%. Yeah. I was just about to say that.
They
The,
should just call this the cosmetic pass or something. Not
Yeah,
season
honestly.
pass or DLC.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just, and I think that the character should be sold separately from the because you
Yeah.
you have no choice but to buy this as a pack, right? It's not like you can buy the character separately.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Oh, that's
I don't
dumb.
like that either.
So
you
so
have
they're
to spend the
available in
money.
they're available in bulk, but you can only get them in bulk.
Yeah. So if you decide
dumb.
you want, now it wasn't that way with the OA5 with all the costume DLC and stuff. You could buy them separately, but now it looks like they're gonna do a bulk thing. That's worse in my opinion, because like, let's say you only want the character, right? Like you just want the character to take into practice mode and lab against. That character functionally is $100 Canadian.
Yeah, that's dumb.
in the
I wouldn't be surprised if they changed that when it post launch.
like tomorrow or something. Yeah. It actually just launched today, so they should probably change it pretty quickly.
Well, I mean, not as like a reactionary thing, but just as like that was kind of their plan. Like launch the season pass, leave it out for a little while, and then release all the cosmetic things separately.
Yeah. The
Speaking of
once everyone's
post-launch
spent all their money.
content,
have to-
they said they are intending to bring back the enhanced jiggling
Oh, as
in
DLC.
post-launch updates.
Oh, yeah, that reminds me.
Bob Physics update cosmetic pack $200.
That reminds me. They've said that. So Andrew's played DOA. Andrew, do you remember Momoji from Ninja Gaiden?
Yeah,
She was in the last game, DOA 5, right?
I call her Momiji.
All right. The and they've said that she'll be in the game again if the game does well.
Why are you laughing?
Because it's just Adam's reaction. Either all of his raptors got out because he's playing Jurassic World, or that fucking stupid ass joke that you made.
So yeah, if the game does well, they're gonna bring back your favorite character, whoever is favorite character is that character. So you better go out and buy the game because they're holding your favorite character to ransom. Now,
Praise to
I'm-
Momiji.
Is Mila available?
I don't know. I don't have the full cast list in front of me. But what I can say is this, and I'm actually more of a defender of this than you might think I am. Not of this, but of what I'm about to talk about. So yeah, Mila is available. I just checked for you, Andrew.
Okay.
So
I'm down. I'm gonna go buy the game and then buy the pass. I'll be right back.
So when Tekken 7 came out, I was upset that Elisa was day one DLC because I'm not a supporter of day one DLC. That's just not my thing. If you make a game, a complete game, and release it, and you want to release more content down the line, and you want me to buy it, cosmetic, a new character, whatever, cool. You're cool with me, by sort of default.
Is that
but-
Penny?
No, that you're thinking of Elisa. This is Elisa.
Oh.
But that's a
Okay.
common mistake, to be fair. But the thing is, when Tekken 7 did that, I wasn't happy. But now that Tekken 7 is coming out with like old characters, I don't mind because old characters take as much time to construct as new characters. One can only assume if you're bringing them over from 1,000 years ago on a different console.
Gotta wedge in a few
so-
more polygons there.
But this game has day one DLC as well, right? Like you buy this season pass, this $100 season pass, you get this character now. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. But yeah, this is pretty scummy, and I don't really know what to do about this because like I bought Elisa in Tekken, right, for like however much it cost because
Part of the problem.
yeah, kind of, but like in fighting games they sort of they sort of have you exactly where they want you, right?
Jesus, Roy, you're ruining the industry.
And this makes me really worried about Dead or Alive. And I'll be interested to see how many people spend the $100. That's a lot of money, man.
Yeah, I can't see a lot of people doing that. Not until they bring
agree.
out individual costume sets. Because I know,
Yes.
as much as I hate and despise microtransactions, if you're gonna do it in a fighting game, I thought Dead or Alive 5 did a reasonable job at splitting that stuff up so you could get specifically the content you wanted.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. I mean, it was still grossly overpriced, and nobody really should spend that money because you're being cheated. But like if you like a character and you wanted a very specific outfit, you could just go buy that. You really didn't have to buy a giant pack of a dozen other costumes that you don't want. To ask
exactly.
$100 for all this content at once is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's madness. That just amazes me. Like, this is a terrible and like DOA isn't exactly beloved by the press as it is. You know what I mean? It's not like they have a lot of goodwill to start throwing around.
Yeah. I mean,
so,
I really enjoy DOA. I think it's a great franchise. I like the mechanics. I'm terrible at it. I'm not good at fighters anyway. But DOA is one of my favorite fighters out there.
Yeah.
So I'm absolutely interested in DOA 6, but all this stuff, it has me wary of it.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. If it's a fighting game, I'm probably gonna buy it. But this is like it's like like it's real. They gotta separate it, right? They can't charge $100 for a character. It's just not. It's too much. Like
They're
forget
gonna
about
split it up.
like,
I'm looking at the Steam page here now, and if you buy it before March 31st, you get early purchase bonuses, which is like you get some extra costumes, an additional character, some music tracks and stuff like that. You get 3 additional. Wait, what do you get? Sorry, 2 additional characters and a few costumes, stuff like that. So I'm thinking after March 31st, when this bonus stuff goes away, that's when you'll be able to buy the stuff separately.
yeah, that's a good.
That makes sense to me because right now it's the only way to get this deluxe costume set with 25 different costumes. Like this pack is only outside of the season pass, $100 content by means of purchasing this early. So I'm thinking they're going to split this stuff up afterwards.
Yeah, I hope they do. That's just it's pure insanity. No good transition here. Let's talk about Star Wars.
Yes, let's.
So I was a little concerned for Jedi Fallen Order. I'm not gonna lie. Right? It's being made by Respawn under the supervision, we'll say, of Electronic Arts. That doesn't make me feel very good, to be honest. But
Not at this point.
there's something to be said for who they've elected to write the game and how bizarrely the information that he was writing it was revealed.
You guys might remember a guy called Chris Avallone. He wrote Knights of the Old Republic 2. He wrote Planescape Torment. He wrote Fallout 2 / New Vegas. This is the guy they elected to write Jedi The Fallen Order, and it was announced via his Twitter.
Yeah, it was not announced. Someone asked him what projects he was working on, and he was like, "Oh, I did Jedi Fallen Order." Like he was just responding to a question, like it was a DM.
And
like,
we don't know if it's just him writing this thing. I mean, it's an EA game. I'm sure they had 1,000 writers, but just knowing that he had some input on another Star Wars game has me really hyped for this.
Yeah, this is kind of couldn't have picked a better and also he's done a couple. He's done level design, and he's like he's a pretty active narrative influence on the stuff he works on.
Yeah.
Right? Like he did level design on Wasteland 2, right? Yeah. Which is a really cool game. I shouldn't have said
he wrote all those games. He was one of the writers / designers on those games.
Yeah, exactly. But he was a big part of the writing for a lot of those. Like he's just He's just a really good guy in the games industry, and he's managed to resist a lot of the industry trends. Like, he seems to pick working generally with good companies. Now, obviously, this is sort of an interesting departure from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, good for him. I'm glad he's getting a good project at the very least.
Also, a subtle tease of something else he's working on in this same tweet. Something maybe being announced later this month. A lot of people are speculating that it's a new Vampire the Masquerade game, which would be
We haven't had one of those
amazing.
in.
Is he not at
while.
all associated with the Outer Worlds?
No, he's not with Obsidian anymore.
No, I thought he was working with them on it, but
No, I'm pretty sure him and the guys running Obsidian are not on good terms.
Oh, okay.
Which is unfortunate because they've done some great work together.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Fallout New Vegas is probably one of the, for me at least, is probably one of the best games ever made, and
Agreed.
yeah. So
In its current form, yeah. It was buggy as fuck when it first came out.
yeah. Well, and part of it too is the terrific modding community that's been supportive of Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
Speaking of stuff like Vampire, that's kind of old and maybe coming back, we've got Bully 2, a rumor.
Yes.
I don't play
That's quite
Rockstar
correct.
games. Someone who plays Rockstar
okay.
games, talk about this.
Okay. Well, before we move on, I can probably mention also, because part of the reason that Jedi was on the list is that they're going to announce it.
Oh.
Show gameplay or show something of it. I thought I saw somewhere that said they were going to show gameplay of it in April at the Star Wars.
They announced an
celebration.
announcement.
Yeah, okay. I thought I saw somewhere that said they were going to show gameplay, but maybe I made that up. So don't quote me on that. But anyway, yeah, there was a another rumor in the rumor mill for Bully 2 has been speculated for a little while. But in this time, there was a casting call that went out for I think it was a, quote, young bully. And when asked by, I forget who it was, whether or not that this was in fact a Bully sequel, they didn't say no or decline to comment or anything, just say, I cannot comment at this time, is what they said. So, just in that specific wording, it seems a little strange that they would say that specifically.
Yeah.
Rather than just be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't really, you know, it's not my place to talk about this. They're just like, I can't comment. It's like, okay. Well, so maybe another substantial chance of getting a Bully sequel. I think it's maybe fair to say that if a sizable amount of Rockstar leaks that come out end up being true.
Yeah.
Still waiting on Agent.
Yeah, fair enough. But a lot of the leaks that we got for Red Dead Redemption 2, even like years and years ago, turned out to have some truth to them.
Yeah.
Or very early maps, like some of the locations in the second game, some of the maps that looked like they were drawn on paint, even had, you know, Strawberry and Valentine written on them in different areas, more or less in the areas they are present in game. So I feel like even stuff from way back then was very early concept from inside the studio. So who knows? Maybe there could be some truth to this as well. So that'd be interesting.
In terms of stuff that might be shown soon, hopefully, PAX East is on the horizon, and what might be at PAX East? Borderlands 3 potentially.
Oh man, the reason I'm playing this game.
This is a game we all knew was being made. And
I can't wait for Randy Pitchford to absolutely butt fuck this game with microtransactions and completely
So
ruin
yeah,
it.
I wanted to. Yeah, this is a good.
Like
So
a
I have a
butt
lot.
fucker. He's just gonna put some cheese pizza in a hard drive with us.
Jesus Christ.
I have a lot of love for this franchise, and I'm really scared about its future. Because
Jesus Christ.
it's pretty much
Cheese and rice.
assured that the economic implications of Borderlands are probably going to change, and
Yeah.
that's
What do you mean, Roy? What about this game could possibly be ruined by economics?
so we all know like Borderlands is sort of ripe for opportunities, ripe with opportunities for putting in microtransactions if they decide to go that route.
No.
And that I find that highly concerning. I thought Borderlands was a really good idea, and one of the reasons I liked it is because it wasn't sort of exactly like other things. It was like a small genre departure from what we usually get, and I really love the art, and I really love the gameplay, and I really love the class balancing in particular. It's my favorite part.
What are those keys called?
Oh, the chest keys, like the purple ones.
Uh,
God, what are those called? I don't
shift
remember.
keys.
I don't remember.
Shift keys. Yeah, that's it. I hope you're not planning on being able to just get those in the third game.
Yeah, no, I'm worried about that too. So,
remember when you could scroll back on Twitter and get keys from like 4 years ago and still redeem them and it worked?
Well, Aaron, they're giving you the option now to just get those whenever you want.
Thanks,
Isn't
Randy.
gaming amazing?
I love it.
well, do you know what we were talking last week about, I think, a bit about Bethesda, and I was saying, you know what, even if Bethesda sort of does go down the road it's going and goes like super hardcore on it, like let's say every game released by Bethesda in the future is Fallout 76, there's been so much good Bethesda content in the past. You can get so many hours out of it that you have way more good hours than you do from a lot of other studios that
I can still ruin it though.
have lifetimes.
But Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim aren't going anywhere.
They're not going anywhere.
Fallout 3 and New Vegas and Fallout 4.
What if they replaced the Steam versions with
and the
turbo? Every quest you do, you got to spend money to buy the quest.
Well, they're available in the current state, and if they change that, the internet will respond accordingly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so I'm I'm satisfied with Bethesda, if that makes sense. They've given me so many hours of entertainment. How can I not be? But I'm not yet. I sort of haven't gotten all the Borderlands I want to get. Like I'm kind of not done
Bethesda
with the
before,
franchise.
Don't you mean who makes, you know what I mean? It's not Bethesda that makes Borderlands.
No,
Gearbox?
but I was.
Yes.
Yeah, but I was talking about Bethesda.
Oh, okay, never mind then. I'm not really paying attention.
We could tell.
But I'm not at all done with this franchise, and
That
so I'm a
also
little
sounds like he's lying
disappointed.
down.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I guess we only have to wait another month or so. So hopefully it's actually there, and hopefully they say there's going to be no microtransactions. And
Yeah, so all right, so then on that docket, so we can predict, not predict, but give Randy a little head start here. The ideal Borderlands 3 game is what?
is very similar to Borderlands 2 with an optimized menu system, 3 new classes, and like a totally new narrative, and no
I
claptrap.
like a customizable character and customizable weapons. Give me all kinds of customization, no microtransactions.
Yeah, more customization. I like the idea of more customization.
Shit on my face.
Yeah, that's my just slightly optimize the menu system a little bit for me, and then then we'll be me and you, Randy, will be all right.
Yeah, I would very much like the ability to, above all else, on top of what you guys are saying. Jesus Christ, a fucking cancer warded to Janeway or something. Is the ability to upgrade your weapons. Like, if you could have a weapon, like you get the very first gun that you get in the game, if you could, like, just upgrade that with new parts as you go on, and then, like, literally finish the game with the same gun. You know, like, just 50 levels later, or however many levels there are.
That will only happen one way, Aaron. By making it cost so much.
No, I'm not worried.
So much in terms of resources. Like, I can absolutely see this happening in the third game, where you can upgrade your weapon to be, better suited to your current level. But crafting is going to be a huge component, and it's going to cost a lot of resources that you have to grind like hell to get, or you can spend money.
Yeah, realistically, maybe, but in terms of an ideal Borderlands a game, then less so. You know, you would get necessary. You would get components to either upgrade the guns that you have already, or maybe craft new ones or something. And you kind of got that choice to make. Do you want to make a new gun, or do you like the one that you have? I don't know. If they gave some. My biggest gripe with these games, the first one, second one, and pre-sequel, I guess, is just the RNG. Like, there's a billion, trillion guns in the game, but you have very little to no control over what you get or what the stats of it are. So if there was just a way to kind of find, like, you find a gun you like, its accuracy or whatever, but it maybe doesn't do as much damage. Then if they gave you the option to sort of fine-tune things a little bit so you don't spend so much time grinding to just find a better gun, because that's all this devolves into is, oh, I got a decent gun, now I gotta get another one, oh, I gotta get another gun. There's too much gun hunting in this. I wish you could just keep what you have and upgrade it. But anyway,
what do you think, Adam? What do you think, Dr. Wu?
I'm not playing that anymore. I kind of agree with all of the points that you guys were making. I think but ultimately I think that the nature of the games industry has changed to the point where many game companies out there are more interested in Yahtzee. In a recent Zero Punctuation review, Yahtzee put it pretty well, where he said something to the effect of, the games industry seems less with making artistic statements and good, enjoyable experiences, and more about digging a big pit over which they can dangle us for more money. And I think that's ultimately what a lot of the AAA space has become. And I don't think that Randy Pitchford and Gearbox are a company that would be willing to stand by their principles and make games for game's sake. I definitely think that they're the kind of company that would want to milk the situation in the Borderlands situation for all of its worth. And Borderlands is a game that could be right for, I want to say, exploitation. You can call it what you want. But I definitely think that with its millions and millions of guns and, a lot of the different customization options, you can absolutely mark all of those off behind a paywall or a pay-to-win wall very, easily. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but I'm saying it would be very easy to implement. Maybe I'll be surprised and there won't be any microtransactions in the game, but if that happens, I'll be very doubtful, because I really don't think that they have the scruples to not do that.
I agree with Adam. Adam and Aaron, you guys like Alien Isolation?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's a good game.
Well, the cutscenes are now a mini-series.
Okay.
I read an article on this, and they said this miniseries picked up right where the game left off.
What?
Which, I mean, clearly these people never even watched a second of the episode, of any episode, because it's literally just the cutscenes from the game.
You know how the game... Can you imagine what kind of fucked up Groundhog Day that would be? Like, at the end of the game, Ellen Ripley's floating through the Amanda Ripley is floating through the vastness of space. Her suit's losing oxygen as she's flying away from the torrents. And then she wakes up and she's back on the torrents, like, all right, we're heading to Sevastopol Station. She's like, no, there's an alien! And she's just stuck in a loop for all time. Fuck.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it as well, and just to make the cutscenes kind of make sense, jumping from one to the other, they do have some kind of like cinematic gameplay to kind of help it be a bit more coherent. But I think they did say that they reshot some cutscenes or something to just make it flow a little bit better. But other than that, yeah, it's straight up just the cutscenes from the game. So I don't know how this picks up after the game.
It doesn't.
But yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I like the idea of this. I like the idea of stuff being movies. Maybe for people who don't really give a fuck, or even just someone who's already played the game and kind of just want to reabsorb the story again without having to do the other 400 hours of gameplay.
Yeah, maybe you plan on playing the sequel on your iPhone.
Oh yeah. But I kind of thought about that with like Red Dead Redemption. Like that would be it would be a very long movie, but it would be cool to see.
It would be an
just the
HBO
cutscenes
series.
again. Yeah, basically, yeah. I don't know. Interesting idea. I don't really know why they did it though. Just make another one, please. I think my game is broke. I think my game is broken, Randy. This is really. I keep killing the same.
2 is broken.
I keep killing the same enemies over and over again. And it's not. Anyway.
Oh, you mean like Borderlands?
No, but like I kill everybody in this level, and then the guy that the game is telling me to kill respawns again, like a dude riding one of them Mong things.
You're
Anyway.
probably not killing him right. Read your
don't know.
objective.
Just says defeat the Minge Mong. Anyway. Yeah.
So,
Back to
what should we talk about?
Postmaster Flex.
Oh yeah. So the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 1 is available. The remaster is available for free on PS Plus this month, and it's possible that the Modern Warfare 2 remaster was leaked. Why does this game need a remaster? Someone explain it to me.
So the announcement was leaked.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, but why does this game need a remaster?
Well, you have to ask
because
Jimmy Activision that one.
they can sell this as a bonus for anybody that pre-orders Call of Duty insert title here for 2019.
Yeah, essentially. And
Let me
then
tell you
sell it on Steam
something.
for $70 a year later.
Let me tell you something. The Call of Duty story has always been the story of someone doing an inferior job and being rewarded for it. This game back in its day never had the online strength of its competitors. It just had numbers more than anything else. And
Oh man, I am all again. Sweet.
hearing this just reminds me of that. I'm getting flashbacks over here and everything. It's terrible. Like yeah, I don't know. They're just gonna keep doing this.
Yep.
Yeah.
The amount of times I'd be over at Rory's house at like 10 o'clock in the night because it was a school night, playing Call of Duty in high school, and hearing him and our friend Devin complain about the online servers in Call of Duty. And it's been 10 fucking years, and they haven't fixed the fucking servers.
Yeah.
Oh, how did the series get so fucking popular?
God.
I don't know. I just don't know. Like,
I'll
say
tell
what you
why, 'cause
will
Call of
about
Duty 4 was a genuinely good game.
it was, but it had the same problems online. It was
I
great.
meant
we
single
played,
player.
We played it split screen. We had a great time, man.
Yeah. By the way,
but-
that's coming out next week. Just because we came up in the conversation, coming out next week in the PS Plus free to play games. So I highly recommend everybody who has a PlayStation get the remaster.
Isn't it out now? Isn't that what Rory just said?
I said it's the March PS Plus games. I'm not sure when they start.
sorry.
I'm not sure if it's right away or what. I'll trust Adam.
Yeah. So well, I mean, the PS Plus games don't normally come out in the first. They normally come out in like the 5th.
Yeah, like the humble games in that way. And
Yeah.
Well, except today's Friday also, and the Humble games come out on Friday, so a bad example, Rory. But yes.
Oh damn! I never noticed it was Friday that they came out. That's funny. They're I'm not sure how I feel about them this month.
I mean, I don't own most of them, so that's good.
That's true.
Neither here nor there.
Aaron, you like movies?
Movies are pretty alright, Rory.
You like Alita?
I did, yes.
Well, that's good. Because the same cinematographer who did Alita also did a movie called Baby Driver. You ever seen it?
Oh man, it's like I watched it last week. How do you know?
Oh.
This game sucks. God damn it, Randy. Anyway, yeah, I saw Baby Driver last week. I've been in an effort to get caught up on movies of the decade. I'm running through a bunch of them. And so I watched Baby Driver's one of them. Yeah, it was okay. I don't know have you guys seen that?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen Baby Driver.
Oh, okay.
I have it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, I got a couple gripes with it. I like the editing. I like the way it was put together. The soundtrack and everything was kind of interesting. definitely the movie itself definitely had a lot of character and was creatively put together. I enjoyed that about it. But it's the same issue I have with Drive. It's a car movie. There's a very simple recipe for making a car movie, and that is you have lots of cars in it that are interesting, and you end the movie with a big fucking car chase.
It is not a car movie.
No, I would also argue it's not a car movie.
But that's the problem. It has driver in the name of the movie, and it opens to a cop chase in a Subaru with a lot of very technical driving. Like, oh, okay, cool. This is going to be a sweet action movie. I'm into this.
So what is a car movie?
Like an example of a car movie?
Yeah. What is your prime example of a car movie?
Prime example of a car movie. I don't know, like Gumball 3000, fucking Smokey and the Bandit.
Gumball 3000?
I think that's the name of it. It's an old movie. Who's laughing?
No one.
Oh, okay. That just must be my inner consciousness humiliating myself.
No, I'm laughing.
Oh, okay.
Is Gumball 3000 even a movie?
No, it's not. It's a collection of companies that includes an apparel brand, according to Google.
I'm pretty sure maybe it's just called Gumball. Anyway, maybe it's a movie. It's a movie about the Gumball 3000. Maybe the name is something else. I'll find it for you after. It's an older movie though, but it's just or Bullet.
The Gumball Rally? Oh, I found it. It's called the Gumball Rally.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Bullet.
No, there's Gumball 3000 the movie. I'm not sure which one of these two it is.
Oh, it's probably that one.
I can't tell. When was your movie made? Was it 2003 or 1976?
Oh yeah, the 76 one sounds more.
Okay, that's the Gumball Rally. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Bullet though. Yeah, it has probably the best chase ever filmed, but I mean, most of that movie is out of a car.
Yeah, I'm not
right?
saying that. I'm not saying
there's
that.
one car in the movie.
Well, kind of. I'm just giving examples that kind of hit the nail a bit more on the head. It's like
Sure, yeah.
they had the recipe there. Like they had a Hellcat in the movie. I'm pretty sure it was a Hellcat. Maybe it was just a Challenger. But like the Subaru was interesting. Doing a truck chase, that was a cool concept that they do in the movie. And they have like, I don't see why these movies like this need to be just about like characters and character development. Like, why can't you have also a lot of cool action in cars at the same time?
Isn't that like in this movie though? I haven't seen the movie, but I mean there is action and stuff.
Yeah, but it doesn't. I will say that
most of the tension is built outside of a vehicle. I agree with Aaron on
that.
Yeah.
And then you get to the climax and there's no car chase.
So it's not a car movie.
No.
Not really. It's just kind of a bit of a soggy dick ending, if I'm honest. Like I like the resolve and the character growth and everything, but you get all these cool action set pieces throughout the movie, and then it just seems like, well, we didn't do a car chase at the end because the cars that they're in at the moment are kind of expensive. So we didn't do that. We just had them kind of drive back and forth in a parking garage a couple of times and then said the end. That's essentially what happens. So I'm like, okay, it's kind of dumb. Stop. Whoever's making these movies, like
Edgar Wright made this movie.
Yeah, whoever's making these fucking car movies, like, is it Driver, the one with the Ryan Gosling? Is that the name?
Drive is the name of the movie with
Stop
Ryan
making
Gosling.
these car movies that aren't about cars. Like, you can be about other things. You're trying to make movies that appeal to car people. Car people want to see cars. They don't want to see
Y'all ain't like Drive?
some asshole. No, it's not about cars. It's like a dude driving around in an Impala for 45 minutes, and then Christina Hendricks gets shot in the face with a shotgun.
Yeah. But the word drive in that movie doesn't necessarily refer to the act of driving.
But he's a stunt driver.
But that's the point. It's kind of like an on the nose thematic thing, no?
But it's not
Am I
on the
wrong?
nose to me. I'm looking for a fucking car movie, and nobody's making them. I don't want to see Fast and the Furious.
fault.
No, but I think there's a good point here, though, that Aaron, because this isn't talked about enough. Sometimes there's feels like there should be movies that are being made that are not being made.
It's just don't set up all the marketing to. Like, I feel like it's false advertising in some respect. Like, if you bought fucking I don't know, Borderlands 3. You're expecting this fucking sweet ass shooter or a bunch of guns, and then it turns out to just be the Telltale game. You're like, oh. Alright, well, I kind of
Yeah.
wanted to shoot stuff, but
No, I see what you're saying.
and it's in a
actually.
world
Yeah.
where shooting is a pretty pretty big backbone to how everything flows. But no, can't do that in this game. It's like stop marketing these like. I watched the trailer for Baby Driver, and it's like 2 minutes of a kid doing skids all around town with John Hamm holding onto the thing inside the car to try and stay in his seat. Like, oh man, cool car movie. And then I watch it, and it's like Kevin Spacey's like, hey, you want to come to my house because I still have a career when this movie's made. Like, this is dumb. Make car movies about cars. Anyway, that's my gripe with Baby Driver.
But you saw something else recently.
I did. I forgot the other one.
Dunkirk.
I watched Edge of Tomorrow as well.
Oh, for the
little-
first time?
I thought you had
less
already
relevant.
seen that.
No, I watched it for the first time.
Oh.
What do you think of that?
I enjoyed it. Like the concept. I thought it was cool.
Was that a car movie?
No, but that was kind of a war movie that actually was about a war, so I enjoyed that. The kind of explanation of the events in the movie are a bit dumb, but the actual concept and execution of it, I think they explored a lot of different avenues with that concept, so I really enjoyed it. And
That too was based on a manga,
Oh, was it?
That's right.
just like Baby Driver.
Just like Baby
Maybe that's why the
Driver.
explanation was kind of dumb.
Ouch.
But anyway, yeah, it's pretty solid.
What'd you think about
I
Dunkirk?
would recommend. Also, yeah, I watched Dunkirk. Definitely a slower movie. This would be one of those movies that I'd say this is a war movie, but it's not actually a war movie. So if you're looking for a war movie, stay away. It's not about war.
It's absolutely about war. It's a
no,
great
it's not.
war movie.
If you want to see people getting blown in half and stuff, and like turbo bombing runs and guns getting shooted, then stay away. It's not this movie.
Well, no, it's not about the frontline combat, but it is about the fear. The fear
Oh
and
yeah,
the
yeah. I'm
human
I'm saying that
drama
like
of
if
war.
you're going in expecting a war, like a quote war movie, then this is not it.
I
But
don't
it
think
is
war is descriptive enough to differentiate those two things.
like the first 20 minutes of Saving Private Ryan war movie. It's not that. Is this game broken? The bad guy's not here anymore at all. He just fucked off. Anyway, beyond that part of it, I really enjoyed the movie. What?
I was just gonna say, I mean, Dunkirk's not real. Is going into. I mean, there's a big difference between the evacuations at Dunkirk and the beach landings at Normandy. I mean, one involved thousands of Allied troops storming up the beaches as German soldiers desperately attempted to push them back into the sea before their armored divisions could come and hold them off. And the other is about the British Expeditionary Force who got their fucking asses kicked all the way across France, attempting to evacuate across the Channel, and who honestly, most of the British Expeditionary Force didn't really fight the Nazis in France. They had a few engagements, but they were basically just outmaneuvered by the speed of the Nazi advance through the south of France and through Belgium, and they were just completely surrounded and were cut off.
And
it's also about the bravery of all the civilian ships that came to help.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, aside from bombings by the Luftwaffe and the occasional bout of violence, most of the fighting during that conflict was several miles away in small towns like Lille, where the French army was actually putting up a brilliant rearguard action to help to give the British time to evacuate. They actually held off the Nazis for 4 days so the British could leave. That's where the fighting was. I mean, the British were basically just, and I'm not trying to say that the British were cowardly by running away. It was the best choice to make, but that's not where the fighting was. So I think you're, maybe you were misinformed.
Okay, let me clarify. I'm not criticizing the film or what the subject matter is. I'm just saying that in relation to me not liking Baby Driver as much because it's marketed as a car movie, it's not a car movie. I'm saying
But
that
it's not marketed as a car movie.
It totally is. Look at the trailer.
I will
It
argue
has a
with,
car in
Oh,
it.
here it is.
I will
If you
argue.
watch the Drive
Oh my
trailer,
God.
it has a car in it.
I will argue that some
Good
of the
night,
trailers
everybody.
for Baby Driver did make it look more like an action heist movie a la Fast and the Furious, because that's why I went to the movies, because I'm like, oh, it's a cool heist movie with fast car chases, and it's more of a character study movie than that. So I will say that some of the advertisement was a little bit misleading. So I will agree with Aaron on that one, and I will back him up. At the same time, I still enjoyed the movie.
If the bulk of your trailer is cars doing skids, then it's a car movie. And that's what this was. So it is a car movie. But the whole
But what if you
point,
never saw the trailer?
then I wouldn't have watched the movie. I don't know.
Yeah, but he's saying, Andrew, you must understand like what his point is. He's saying that the trailer was not an authentic representation of the movie. We got lots of
He's
examples
saying
of that,
he went
right?
in thinking the movie was something it wasn't, and he's criticizing it for it. And
I don't think he is. I don't know if he is. He might be. Are you
I'm not-
criticizing
I'm
it
not-
for it, or
I'm
are
not
you observing
holding-
it?
I can't even get my opinion across because you're shoving it back down my throat.
Bitch,
I'm
I
not-
ain't shoving nothing.
I'm not criticizing the movie for not being what I thought it was or wanted to be. I'm just saying that it's hard to not hold that against it in some respect. It's almost like it was mildly disappointing that the whole setup of this movie, you have all these car chases, all these cool action moments, a lot of tension, and then you get to the big climax and you're like, all right, sweet, we got another 25 minutes here. This is going to be an awesome fucking car chase. And then nothing. It's just like, oh, okay.
I don't really think there was a lot of car chases at
Yeah,
Dunkirk. I could be mistaken.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Dunkirk. I love that movie. Love Christopher Nolan. He's one of my favorite directors.
I still haven't seen it, but I do get your
damn,
why
don't
why
watch
you
it.
would be disappointed by that, Aaron. Like, it's understandable.
It's ultimately why I watched it. I saw the trailer. I said, that looked cool. Everyone was, like, praising this movie. It's like, all right, it's pretty cool. You get a pretty decent action movie here or whatever. And then it's, like Roy said, it's more or less just about a handful of characters.
Well, I'll
more
give
or less
I'll-
just two characters that kind of break out of their shell a little bit.
It'd be like
Okay,
if
but
there was.
Sorry, Adam, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say it'd be like if Jurassic Park, instead of being a movie, the trailers all made it be like, hey, this is a high stakes, well, not high stakes, but this is a action, adventure movie featuring characters trying to escape a park where all the dinosaurs have gotten loose, and it's advertised as that, and then you get into the movie and it's actually just about mostly just the interpersonal relationship between Dr. Sattler and Dr. Grant. And there's hardly any dinosaurs in it at all. Like, that would be kind
It's
of
kind of the
misleading.
same thing. Yeah, it's like, oh man, come to Jurassic Park with all these dinosaurs, and then they're in the movie for like 4 minutes. Like, all right, well, I kind of came to see dinosaurs, but anyway,
Yeah.
thanks for robbing my money. But anyway, Dunkirk is a better movie than Baby Driver
I agree
and
with
Edge
that.
of Tomorrow. In my opinion, it's one of the
I
first
very
movies.
much agree with that.
One of the first movies that I've seen that I can remember anyway that really captured and made me personally watching it feel trapped. I think it did a solid execution on that. Like the shit that they had to go through and everything was fucking harrowing as shit.
Yep.
Just in terms of a historical standpoint, but I thought it was really well done. The kind of the way they set it up. It took me a little while to kind of figure out that there's ultimately 3 timelines in the film. And for some reason, I guess it's a Chris Nolan thing to do.
The
that
aspect
none
ratio?
of them. Well, yeah, that also, that he constantly switches between IMAX and whatever it is, 235:1 normal film ratio. For seemingly random reasons. Like, it's not even like this big, like a big beach scene or something where you see a bunch of people standing on the beach. It's just like a guy walking down a pier, and then all of a sudden it cuts back into a 235:1. You're like, all right, it's an odd transition there. This guy is only in this aspect ratio, but you cut back to Kenneth Branagh with his painted on lips, and he's in IMAX. Yeah, the timelines for some reason aren't matched up. They're really out of sync for some reason. It's a strange way to do it. I think it's well done, but it's arguably a strange way to kind of put together your characters, because you end up seeing the same events like a half an hour later in the movie from a different perspective. But ultimately, yeah, I thought that was well done. It didn't seem like a super high budget movie or anything. It kind of seemed low budget. It was not that it was cheap or anything, but there was very few scenes and very little almost like production that kind of went into it. Most of the movie is just a bunch of dudes standing on a beach, so it's kind of just Chris brought his iPhone along and they started filming some stuff. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. Like I said,
I still haven't seen it, but I would like to watch it because I mean the fucking evacuations at Dunkirk is one of the most miraculous military operations ever. Like you don't have 300,000 troops on the shore surrounded by the enemy and you evacuate most of them. Like that's just not a thing that is supposed to happen in military doctrine. Those men are just going to get slaughtered and captured. So the fact that they were able to escape, thanks in large parts to the bravery of the French defenders around the port and the bravery of the civilian fleets and what was they called, little ships, evacuating the individuals across the channel.
What do you mean
including
many? You watched it.
What?
I don't think they ever referred to them as little ships in the movie.
I think like that's a historical thing. They call it like the little fleet or the little ships. Anyway.
Oh.
I'm
surprised you haven't seen it, Adam.
I want to watch it. I just never had the I just never think about seeing that. It's one of those movies because I feel like it's a fairly long movie. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing it's close to the 3-hour mark.
No, it's actually like an hour 50, I think.
Really? No, that's not too bad.
I
was assuming it was a longer. I was assuming it was.
I was totally
film.
expecting a 3-hour movie as well, but then I saw it. I think it's like hour 46 or something like that. So.
Okay. Well, I might because if it's a 3-hour movie, like I'll sit down and watch it, but it's one of the things like I'm just gonna need an afternoon off, and I haven't really had one, but I might just sit down and watch it some evening.
It's pretty good. It's ultimately a movie to show how badass Tom Hardy is.
He's a pilot in that movie, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
He's
right.
flying the Spitfire, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's also
He's a
right.
badass.
Good plane. Not as good as the
Yeah.
P-51, but can't blame him for that.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid movie. Again, if you're into fast-paced action movies, it's probably a pass. But in terms of just like a good story and actually kind of some good feel-good moments, and there's some feels in the movie. I guess as you can kind of draw from Adam's explanation of the events, but it is good.
They are
It'll
called
warm your long dead heart.
they are called the little ships, by the way.
Oh, there you go. It's canon.
I do very quickly before we move on to the next topic because I'm genuinely interested about this. What is everybody's favorite? Oh, well, what is everybody's before we end? What is everybody's favorite war film? Mine is Black Hawk Down. I think that's a really great action film and a really good war film.
Predator.
It's not a war film.
There's a war in it.
Oh, there's not.
Historical, you mean?
Yeah, like a movie about a historical battle.
I don't know.
What
What
you,
about a
Andrew?
non-historical battle? I mean,
And that's
Predator's not about a war, but what about a Star War?
Yeah, episode 5.
My answer's Saving Private Ryan.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too because it's really the only one I can remember half decently.
Does Inglourious Bastards count as a war movie?
Oh, if that counts, that's mine.
Yeah, see, it's not really a war movie either. It's just characters.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
also
so-
not historical.
All right, so if that doesn't count, then my answer is The Hurt Locker.
Oh, that's a good one.
choice.
That's a good one.
I haven't seen it.
You should. It's a good
Super
movie.
good. It's super,
When did it come out?
like 2009?
2007?
Oh, I can't watch
Oh.
it then.
Why?
It's not from this decade. It's not relevant anymore.
Oh, right, because Aaron is preparing probably for our movies
I
and
am,
games
yes.
of the decade podcast at the end of the year.
Yeah, watching all these and prep for that. Spoiler: none of those 3 movies made the top 10 on my current list. So
Movies of the decade is going to be a
I'll never
really
hear
hard
from it
one
again.
because like we sort of experience varying degrees of media. Like I don't
my
play as many
God.
video games as you guys do, and like Adam's sort of not big on live action television and like all that, but we all watch a lot of movies. So there's going to be a lot of stuff to pick from. So
yes.
yeah, we'll see how
that's
that
why
goes.
I'm making a list now, so I can kind of just keep on top of it as I go.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Actually, we should probably follow suit. Thank you guys for tuning in. There'll be another podcast next week. One can only assume. We're coming up on episode. We're coming up on episode 200 of the podcast.
Oh my God!
And that's
Aaron, are you gonna watch Boyhood?
Unfortunately, yeah.
oh man, the
You know it took him 10 years to make?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a chance to watch it.
Yeah, pretty much. It's getting close.
Find this
Goddamn
ladder.
Boyhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prediction that won't make Aaron's list.
I believe. What's at the bottom
I
of
don't
my
think you're
list?
going in with an open mind.
I was gonna say what's on the bottom of my list, but it's Tomb Raider. It's at the very bottom. It's like 80 something plays at the moment.
Wow.
Followed
Are you
by
gonna watch
4.
Nymphomaniac?
Maybe.
Don't
I
watch
don't know.
that one.
I'll
Watch
s-
Melancholia.
When did Melancholia come out?
2011.
Okay, it just makes it.
The like if you're gonna watch a Lars von Trier film, don't start with like the worst one.
That's good, promising. All right.
Sorry, I have the
it's like a
hiccups.
cough hiccup. I don't think my physics stuff is working properly in this game. Nothing is. No particles. Anyway. Yeah, that'll do it this week, I guess. We'll have Rory sign off. He's the MC.
Are you gonna watch Enemy?
Oh, you should watch Enemy. Enemy's terrific.
Yeah.
You're gonna fucking hate it.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Yeah. I've
At
got
least I know
got
it's not a car movie now.
I think we can toss Andrew. Let's just toss Enemy and Train to Busan on the list of movies that Aaron is just gonna not like.
I think Aaron would
watch
actually
it,
like
man.
Train to Busan.
We'll see.
Well, it has train in the name. Is a train in most of the movie?
Yeah.
What end is a good chance?
All right. So yeah, thank you all for joining our podcast, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.